Welcome to Let's Get Into It. I am your host, Sherelle Higgins. Let's Get Into It is a safe space to have real conversations that are meant to uplift, encourage, and let you know you are not the only one dealing with life. Each episode of Let's Get Into It is designed to provide illuminating and thought-provoking information on a variety of topics. In fact, no topic is off limit. If you would like to see a topic discussed, please feel free to make a recommendation. My special guest and I will have a great time discussing topics that the mainstream media wouldn't dare discuss. We will bring these conversations to you with an open mind, respectfully, from different perspectives, and most importantly, with love. Thank you for joining me and my special guest. Now, let's get into it. Hello. I am Sherelle Higgins, the host of Let's Get Into It. And this is Let's Get Into It Real Quick. Someone asked a question on Reddit, and I wanted to address it because it may be a thing across government in the near future. And so I want to read to you what the person asked and then kind of talk through it. So the person works for the Social Security Administration. And they said SSA is offering a reassignment lottery of sorts for staff with non-critical positions to be selected for critical positions. I've already been notified by my boss lady that my position has been chosen to be eliminated. Now, she is encouraging me to enter the reassignment lottery. I'm leery of entering because I'm concerned if I am not selected, then I will not receive my severance when I am RIF'd, or if I am selected and the position is far away and I decline. I just don't know what to do, and I have to make a decision by Friday. Is anyone else in this predicament? And so let's talk about that. So there are a couple of unknowns with the question that was asked. The first question is, even though she was notified by her supervisor, that doesn't tell me that she actually received a RIF notice. And if she has not, if he or she has not received a RIF notice, then the fact that her supervisor notified her really doesn't mean anything in terms of severance pay. However, if she enters the reassignment lottery and she does not have a RIF notice and she is selected and the position is far away and she declined it, that would have no impact on her severance pay because she has not formally or officially been notified that she is being RIF'd. If she is selected, then and she wants to continue working for the government, he or she, I don't know what the gender is. If the person is selected and they accept, then they'll have a job going forward, and therefore they will not be entitled to severance pay because they are going to be moving into a critical position, which will not be RIF'd. If the person has received an official RIF notice and they enter this reassignment lottery and they get selected and then they decline, then yes, they will at that point, regardless as to, well, it depends on what far away you mean. If it's outside the 50-mile radius and they decline, then they will still be entitled to their severance pay. If it's outside the 50-mile radius or outside of the local commuting area and they decline, then they should still get their severance pay, because when you work for the federal sector and you are offered a position, let's say in a different state, and you decline that move, you should still receive your severance pay. And so if this is something that's going to be happening across government, they're going to be doing a reassignment lottery. As long as you don't have a RIF notice in hand, you have not been given the official notice that gives you 60 days or 30 days under this administration, then it should have no impact on you being able to get your severance pay. Now, I suspect that they're going to tinker around with the severance pay issue because what they really want to do is just terminate people and tell them good luck, right? They don't necessarily want to pay people And so, as long as no changes have been officially made to the rules and regulations surrounding RIFs, employees who are being RIFed are entitled to their severance pay. This is not something that the employee can waive, nor is it something that the administration can waive. And so, if your agency is going to have a reassignment lottery, and you do not have a RIF notice in hand, and you want to continue working for the federal sector, you would want to go ahead and submit your name, and see what happens. If the job that they offer you is not something you're willing to do for whatever reasons, it should have no impact on your severance pay, because when you declined that reassignment, you did not have a RIF notice in hand. So I wanted to jump on here really quick and talk about that, and let people know that if this is something you possibly should consider. Because when the RIF happens, the way that it's happening right now is the administration is targeting the entire competitive area and competitive levels, which is taking away employees' ability to bump and retreat into other positions. And so, if they're going to offer you a reassignment without giving you a RIF notice, then that's something you should consider. And if it's a job that they offer you, you should consider that as well if you want to continue your federal career. Also, I saw an article today where they was talking about cutting 50% of the Department of Education. And so I suspect that they are going to do the employees at the Department of Education the same way that they have done the employees at USAID and so many other agencies across the board. And so stay tuned. Again, check your options, see what's available. If you have a RIF notice, it makes a difference. If you don't have one, that makes a difference as well. I will continue to do these. Let's get into it real quick to help you out. I will try to do them as timely as possible, so that you have the right information at the time that you need it, so you can make an informed decision that's going to work out best for you and your family. So, as a recap, if there's a reassignment lottery and you do not have a RIF notice, put your name in and see what happens. Because if they offer you something and you decline, then you will still be entitled to your severance pay if you eventually get a RIF notice. If you have a RIF notice in hand and you enter the reassignment lottery and you are selected, and for whatever reasons you decide that this is not the right opportunity for you, then that could jeopardize your severance pay. So you want to kind of make sure that you understand the difference between having a RIF notice in hand versus not having one at all. And then also understand that the way that they are doing the RIFs is that they're wiping out the entire competitive area so that you have no bumping and retreating rights into another position. So if you have a non-critical job, you would want to really think about entering that reassignment lottery, because there's no harm, no foul, right? Like the worst thing that can happen is they can offer you a job somewhere you don't want to be. But at least at that point, you will have a job. If you are in a non-critical job and you uh, don't have, and you do have a RIF notice in hand and they offer you a job, that's the same as bumping and retreating. And so if you decline it, it will impact your ability to collect your severance pay. So again, make sure that you educate yourself. Check out my other videos. I did an extensive one on RIFs and how it works and what you are entitled to and how they should be going about doing it. And make sure that you understand how this all works so that you can make the best decision for you and your families. Also, if you see something out there that you think you would want me to cover, please, DM me, tag me on social media. I will be glad to jump on really quick and talk about it. Somebody sent me this article, this question today from Reddit, and asked me to, do a quick podcast on it. So that's why I'm talking about this. And this could possibly come to your agency soon. So thank you all for joining me. I will see you soon. I'm going to be traveling for the next 4 days. So I'm pretty sure I won't be doing any podcasts, but if something really crazy happens, I will jump on and do another podcast. So thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, you can DM me. I'll be more than willing to, talk to you, message back and forth with you, so that you can make an informed decision. Have a great night. Thank you for joining and participating in Let's Get Into It. I want to thank my special guest for being brave enough to get into it. Without you, these conversations cannot happen. Remember, different viewpoints, respect, and love are the foundations of Let's Get Into It. If there's a topic you think I should discuss, drop me a recommendation. If you're interested in being my special guest, let me know, because we can and will get into it. Have a great day on purpose, and I look forward to your continued engagement and support as we get into it.